Hello, my name is Latasha Jackson, and I'm going to show my ID. I chose the Roper versus Simmons 2005. Basically, it's an abolished capital punishment for juveniles now. I'm sorry. The case of Roper versus Simmons took place in 2004. However, the situation or crime, rather, that transpired, the case began, that made it transpire. I'm sorry, the case began in 1993 when a minor by the name of Christopher Simmons, the age of 17, and a junior in high school at the time, planned and committed a burglary and capital murder against a middle-aged woman by the name of Shirley Crook, whom he chose as his victim. He also convinced two of his friends to come along and persuaded them they were sure to get away with it if they were caught because they were minors. And due to the fact of him trying to boast and brag like most adolescents do, it quickly led to him getting arrested on school property. Following a short trial, the court found Simmons to be guilty of all charges. The court sentenced Simmons to death. In response to the charges, Christopher Simmons, basically he appealed the execution due to his status as a minor. Christopher Simmons believed he did not deserve capital punishment because he was below the age of an adult. Minor law defines that individuals below the age of adulthood are not subject to a number of criminal punishments. The Roper versus Simmons ruling was delivered because of a previous case, which is the Stanford versus Kentucky. In this case, which took place in 1989, the court found that minors can be subject to the death sentence only if the charges warrant execution. The court found that capital punishment sentences for minors between the ages of 16 and 17 did not violate any rights awarded by the Eighth Amendment. The Roper versus Simmons trial took place January 26th of 2004. Simmons initiated the Supreme Court case because he felt that the initial sentence of death was in violation of his Eighth Amendment rights. The amendment of the United States Constitution provides protection against punishments that are considered to be cruel and unusual. Simmons believed, his belief was that he was below the age of an adult and therefore should not be subject to capital punishment. The United States Supreme Court in Roper versus Simmons ruled in favor of Simmons. They explained that sentencing a minor to death was indeed cruel and an unusual punishment. The United States Supreme Court overturned the ruling that was established in the Stanford versus Kentucky. The Roper versus Simmons case was decided on March 1st, the year of 2005. The United States Supreme Court featured the defendant Christopher Simmons and the plaintiff Roper, whom was the acting prosecutor for the state of Missouri. So basically, Christopher was sentenced to death in 1993 when he was only at the age 17. He had a series of appeals to the state and federal courts that lasted until 2002, but each appeal was rejected. But as you can see, eventually it got overturned in 2005, and now it's abolished, and abolished capital punishment for juveniles, which is what the Roper versus Simmons 2005 is. Okay, the end.